Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's good to have you back with us at Somaliland National Television. This is the English Bulletin with me, Mohammed Adan. Let's take a look at the main stories making headlines. House of Elders promised to meddle discrepancies among the ruling political party. Somaliland's Minister of Energy holds a banquet lunch for members of Somaliland diaspora from Sheffield. Ukraine military says it has retaken Donetsk airport. Hello again. Now the main stories in Hargeisa. House of Elders held a session chaired by the Speaker of the House, Salaban Mahmoud Adan, whereby the House members agreed on taking part in the efforts aimed to provide a resolve to the disagreements between the figureheads of the ruling political party, Kulmiye.
Speakers at the House of Elders, Salaban Mahmoud Adan, stated the House of Elders always stands to provide and resolve the disagreement amongst the national institutions, and such disagreements were resolved in several times, and the efforts aim to provide a resolved disagreement among the ruling party members, of which have been broadcasted by media recently. Today we can subordinate this issue, so we will designate a high-profile committee. We will designate the most renowned elderly people through their youth members whose active role is noteworthy. But today we are designated the most shrewd intellectual members of the House. If we agreed with this on this issue, I would like that Saeed summarize the points we have agreed. Deputy Speaker of the House of Elders, Saeed Jama Ali, made the public the names of the elders being designated for the brokering at the end of a current opposed views of ruling political parties. The committee comprises 13 Houses members or speakers. You know the chairing members, it's the Speaker of Deputy Speakers. Other members being led by Haji Abdi Hussein Yusuf, Mahmoud Awa Ahmed, Awale Hussein Ahmed, Noor Riyale Kahir, Abdi Qadir Mohammed Hassan, Ahmed Musa Oboso, Sheikh Mahmoud Hirsi, Farah Abdi Qadir Awal Hussein, Ahmed Noor, Ali Mohammed Jama Abukar, Mahmoud Hared Sulaiman, Gas Saeed Yusuf, Abdullahi Awal. Somaliland's House of Elders, also known as the Upper House of Parliament, played a pivotal role in bringing it an end to the disagreement between members of the House of Representatives. These are now expecting to provide and resolve the difference in views between members of the ruling political parties. Somaliland has enjoyed throughout the years due to the brilliant role of elders played in finalizing tensions and discrepancies between Somaliland citizens, which includes sub-clans throughout the traditional focus of scope, political figureheads and institutions which they look in political perspective after being participating figures in mediation tables. Most of these disagreements were ended in a relinquishment of all sides regarding Somaliland's stability and its first priority issue.
Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources, Hussein Abdi Duale, accompanied by the Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, held a banquet lunch for members of the committee who were responsible for the efforts that led to the recognition of Somaliland as a sovereign state by the Sheffield City Council. The event had in attendance several dignitaries, which included Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources, Minister of Youth, Sports and Tourism, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, and several distinguished guests. Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources Hussein Abdi Duale provided the initial remarks at the event. He commended efforts of the Sheffield City Council for the great role it played in recognizing Somaliland as a sovereign state, which became the first step taken to recognize the sovereignty of Somaliland. The minister also expressed hope that Somaliland would be recognized due to the peaceful and democratic platform it boasted throughout the 20 years after it gained independence. Minister of Youth, Sports and Tourism Ali Saeed Regal, speaking on the pivotal and praiseworthy efforts that the Somaliland diaspora in Sheffield and the UK as a whole played in ensuring that Somaliland is recognized due to the peaceful platform it maintained and meeting international criteria for a sovereign state. The minister called on diaspora in other countries to follow suit and take part in the efforts aimed to search for the recognition of Somaliland. The Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, Maulid Mohammed, spoke on the role that the ministry played in extending diplomatic ties with the world, which include the neighbouring nations. The Vice Minister also reiterated on the steps taken to increase commercial transactions with those nations and the major efforts driven by the ministry to convince the world nations and the international archetypal body, the United Nations, that Somaliland is a sovereign nation awaiting international recognition, owing to the great role it plays in the regional stability as well as its refreshingly democratic platform. Other keynote speakers at the event complimented Somaliland's diaspora in Sheffield for the towering role they played in the recognition that Sheffield City Council provided for Somaliland. Ministry of Sports, Youth and Tourism provided medals for youths who won in the second standard chess games which were recently held in the capital city of Somaliland, Hargeisa. Ministry of Youth, Sports and Tourism has provided medals for the youths won in the games held throughout the capital city of Somaliland. The event had in attendance Director General of the Ministry of Sports and several other dignitaries. Director General of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Tourism, Mohammed Hussein Dabeye, provided the initial remarks at the event, and he stated,
laakiin waxa weeye waxa lagu kala horeynaya lagu kala badinaya waa dadaalka iyo facilitieska uu qof waliba haysto iyo accesska uu leeyahay inuu wax weeye arinta qayb weyn ka qaato.
Everyone can excel and win as a result of greater efforts and the access to taking a great role in those issues. That's the way we strengthen the different sporting competitions, which include football, athletics, volleyball and other sporting games like the chess and similar ones. We have to amplify these efforts and provide entertainment for our youth. The youths need help in working physically and mentally. Hassan Waraba'ad, head of Olympics Department for the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Tourism, speaking on the importance of providing entertainment for the different youths through extending all different sporting games, reiterated the necessity of sporting games in any developing nation, and he stated, I think the chess sporting games were never seen before at our ministry, but it is widely being played throughout the world. I'm happy that the Director General and the Director of Sports have for the first time an ability to provide medals for the youth as reward of their efforts and encouragement. The man who excelled in World Chess Games was previously a Russian man, but at the moment he was replaced by a Norwegian man from the city I came from. You're still tuned into the English news program on SLN TV. Now for the main international headlines in English. Ukrainian authorities say they have retaken control of Donetsk airport amid a second day of fighting between troops loyal to Kiev and pro-Russian rebels.
At least 30 people are reported dead in the eastern city of Ukraine's military-launched airstrikes against separatists who seized the complex on Monday. Residents tried to flee, but the mayor of Donetsk, Alexandra Lukanchenko, says the fighting had explained civilian casualties. He warned local people to stay off the streets with reports of explosion in the city centers. One elderly man told reporters he had been given no warning about the gun battles. The clash between troops and separatists supporting the leadership of self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republics followed the elections of Ukraine new president Petro Poroshenko on Sunday. Poroshenko, a political veteran and a billionaire owner of the chocolate factory, has said he will prevent the rebellions turning eastern Ukraine into Somalia.
India's new Prime Minister Narendra Modi has begun his term in office by holding talks with Pakistan counterpart Nawaz Sharif.
India's new Prime Minister Modi holds talks with Pakistani counterpart Sharif. Prime Minister Modi, who also met with Afghanistan's outgoing leader Hamid Karzai, had already invited Sharif to his inaugural ceremony, amid hopes of a thaw in relations between the nuclear-armed rivals. Relations with Pakistan will be a crucial test for the new Hindu nationalist leader, whose election victory marks a turning point in modern Indian history. During the campaign, Modi sought to downplay any friction with India's sizable Muslim minority, and since his election has made several conciliatory statements to reassure people he will not pursue Hindu-first policies. Instead, he is focused on restoring rapid economic growth, slashing public spending and waging war on corruption. He also needs to restore investor confidence with growth at a decade low below 5%. A decade low of below 5%. Modi's diplomacy came after he named some of the key ministers in his new administration. The new finance minister will be Arun Jaitley, a corporate lawyer who will also take the defense portfolio as Modi seeks to downsize the government. Jaitley told reporters, "We have to restore back to the pace of growth, contain inflation and obviously concentrate on fiscal consolidation itself. Public finances are in dire straits as government spending has outpaced revenues. The new administration will immediately need to take a decision on slashing subsidy spending, which is threatening a budget blowout and sovereign ratings downgrade." Jaitley added, "I am sure the political change itself sends a strong signal to the global community and also domestic investors. I think over the next few months, by expediting decision-making processes, I'm sure we will be able to build on that." The Ministry of Interior will be run by Rajnath Singh, the head of Modi's BJP party. Singh will be charged with the task of ensuring internal stability and calming the anxieties of India's religious minorities. The Foreign Ministry will be headed by Sushma Swaraj, who is one of the party's best-known faces in the parliament. He has led the Health Ministry in the past and is seen as a moderate within the BJP.
That's it for this edition of the English News Programme. Thanks very much for being with us. You can catch us at the same time tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.